Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chess Files. Today we are at the next topic, that is endgame studies, and we are going to use this endgame study for improving our calculation. So it can be a very handy exercise for calculation of variations. It's not a very difficult one, but very interesting ideas are there. Let's get started. It is of course white to play, as most endgame studies are, and it's very difficult for white to win. We can see there are two pawns for the rook, but the pawns are doubled. Sometimes doubled pawns gives some advantages, like rook coming behind them and the ahead one is protected by one of our own pawns which is behind. But some very interesting ideas are there. We can make out white has very few moves. In fact, only one move, b5, which can work. Let's say if white does a6, then just b takes a6. Very simple. Black won't play rook b4, allowing a7. And after b7, just there is the rook b4 and the b pawn is stopped, black wins. So the first move is not very difficult to find. It has to be the move b5 because the b4 pawn is attacked also. But things become really tricky after this. One should try to calculate all the lines. Black has four main ways. One, he can attack b5 with rook e5. Second, he can keep rook e6 and keep eyeing on the b6 pawn. Third, he can go rook e1 and try to come behind the rook pawn. And finally the main line, rook b4, immediately attacking the pawn on b5. So all lines are somewhat different in nature. After rook e5, white of course has to play a6. Now see, black also has to be very careful. If he goes b takes a6, then after b takes a6, two pawns on 6th rank are stronger than the rook. So white will end up winning over there. So rook b5 forced, and now comes a7. Now we again see that the black rook is getting all caught up. Rook a5 forced, and the white king comes and wins the b7 pawn. It looks like white would win, but unfortunately see, the black king reaches on time. ke4, kc7, kd5, kb7, kc5. The theory says that whenever there are two protected pawns or connected pawns, ahead pawn is attacked by the rook and the behind one, once touched by the enemy king, the position mostly becomes drawn. Now see, after a8, rook 8, king 8, kb6 will be drawn. So by now you must have already noted that it is white to play and draw. See, white cannot win in any line. So after b5, let's look at the move rook e6 now. Here too, white goes a6 without wasting any time. After rook b6, there is a7, and in fact it is black who is in trouble. Say rook h6, and there comes c k g7, and it's game over. So b takes a6, and here also comes c b7. Again things are becoming difficult for black. See, rook b6 forced, and now b takes a6. Again we can make out that the move rook e6 has turned out badly for black. After the move rook e1 also, white goes a6, and here too after the move rook a1, a7. This time also, see, in spite of the extra pawn as compared to the previous line, we will see still the game is drawn only. After kf3, ke7, ke4, kd6, kd4, kc7, kc5, kb7, again we make out that same after kb5, it's a drawn game. So the main line happens to be the move rook b4. And now white almost has the only move here. This is the most important line, the critical one. After the move a6, we can see that there is just b takes a6. This time the rook is nicely placed behind the pass pawn. So rook b6, a7, rook a6, and the a pawn is also lost. The most important variation is that the move ke8 and e7, they look similar, but let's see one by one. After ke8 here, black takes, rook takes b5, and after kd7, plays rook c5, cutting off the white king from the b7 pawn. And no matter what white does, there is nothing. Black simply will wait. Let's say kd6, rook c1 or c2. Whenever a6 comes, b takes a6, b7, rook b1, he would give up his rook for the b pawn on b8, and the a pawn would just win. And if white tries to waste move by kd7 and kd6, the black king would soon approach d5. and the white king will have to go away. Ultimately the pawns on a5 and b6 would be lost. So the move ke8 turns out to be blunder. White plays ke7, rook b5, and now see, here comes the move kd6, stopping kc5, and this is the important case here. Even after losing the pawn, rook takes a5, there is still kc7, and we notice that not only b7 will be taken, the king manages to come back to c7. Again, this is a very important line. Let's not leave it here itself. Black goes kf3, king takes b7, kd5, kc7, and here black can try the move rook c5 check. White has to be very careful here. Of course, it's not a very difficult move. White should just play kd7 and keep his b pawn path cleared. So now what will happen? Whenever or wherever the rook moves, b7 is a threat, and after rook b1 there will be kc7. The black king never manages to reach on time. The main point being, if white had played the move kb8, then he manages to lose the game. See, after kd5, b7, kc6, kc8, there comes kb6 check, and after kb8, black can win in several ways. So he can either go just rook c1, this is safest, forcing king a8, and now see ra1 check, kb8, ra7. So this would end in a loss for white. If to rook c5 check, he doesn't play kd7 or kd8. So after rc5 check, kd7 or kd6 both lead to easy draw for white. After rook c1, b7, rook b1, kc7, kd5, b8, rook b8, and the game would be drawn. Lines were not very complicated, but it happens to be one of the important positions for rook versus pawns position. I hope you will find the lesson useful and instructive. Do let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time.